Hello, my name is Caroline Jonja, a legal consultant at Crime Sipwa. Today in our Ask a Lawyer series, we'll be handling commonly asked questions under the Sexual Offences Act.
My 20-year-old neighbor had sexual intercourse with a 16-year-old girl who agreed to it. Is that still defilement or it's not since she agreed?
To answer this question, let's first start with the definition of what is defilement. The Sexual Offences Act defines defilement as when a person commits an act that causes penetration with a child. Looking at that question, this involves a man and a 16-year-old girl who has consented. When we're looking at that definition, the issue of consent is not there. Therefore, it becomes irrelevant. As long as the court is able to prove that this girl was 16 years, then he will be guilty of defilement. The only defense that this man can bring up in absolving himself is by stating that this girl, or proving that this girl was actually, she had deceived to be 18. I only came out to find out that this girl is 16 later on. But that sometimes becomes very hard because you have to show proof. Did you ask for the ID of this girl? What made you believe that actually this girl was 18 and not 16?
Wakili, is there something like consensual sex between a 17-year-old boy or a 16-year-old girl?
Those are the cases we usually refer to as Romeo and Juliet cases between a 16-year-old girl or a 17-year-old boy or a 17-year-old boy, and really the issue of age here becomes a bit not very relevant because these are two minors who have engaged in a sexual act that has been prohibited by law. So both of them actually, they are guilty of defilement since they have had sexual relations with a child who's below 18 years. When we look at these cases of Romeo and Juliet, we are guided by the recent judicial decisions that have come out with the famously referred to case of Chitembwe. And the courts, they are not very quick to convict minors who have engaged in sexual acts. Rather, they divert them and they take them through counseling, through any other alternative forms of resolution that can, promote rehabilitation for these children, because it becomes quite a disadvantage when they are held in institutions, rather than that will not help them to, change their behavior to become upright citizens.
Can a man report being sexually assaulted, or is it just only women who get protected?
When you look at our laws, the Sexual Offences Act, how it has been framed, most people don't realize that it is gender neutral. Therefore, it protects both men and women. And it does not only offer protection to women. When you look at the definition of the sexual assault in the Sexual Offences Act under Section 5, Paragraph 1, the Paragraph B, which states that when a person manipulates any part of his or her body or the body of another person so as to cause penetration of the genital organ into or by any part of the other person's body, then that is deemed to be sexual assault. There have been many times when you have been asked, can a woman assault a man? Yes, a woman can assault a man by actually manipulating and this man to cause penetration with her. Then later on she's like, no, but the guy consented. So most of the times when we look at that section, then a man is protected by the law. Also, men have been quiet, but in all police stations we have a gender desk. So if a man has been sexually assaulted by a woman, he can report the matter at any police station at the gender desk office, where he can be accorded the necessary assistance.
I was sexually assaulted by a powerful person and I am afraid to report the matter. How can I be helped?
The law is very clear that nobody is above the law, that our Constitution guarantees that every person who is in the Kenyan soil has a right, and those rights should be protected. Therefore, it does not matter whether they are a poor person or a rich person. And what she can do is she can report the matter to the police station and actually notify them that this person is influential and there's a risk that he might interfere with the process. Alternatively, we have the Witness Protection Act, which provides that if you are a witness to any criminal issue or any wrong, and you are concerned about or you're worried about your safety, then you can seek their protection. And they will take you through all that process, and you will be vetted, and they'll see whether you need any protection. So it does not matter whether the person is influential or not, you can get justice in our courts.
As a guidance and counseling teacher, one of my students confided in me that she was defiled and her mother was paid off into silence. How do I handle this?
Well, that's a very interesting question, and this is quite common in our community. Where when the children report about the sexual violations, they agree with the perpetrator, or they get an agreement and they are paid into silence. So you can see that the child was quite aggrieved that the person she divulged or confided in did not help, and had to seek further support from the guidance and counseling teachers. And since teachers have an obligation also to protect and ensure that the rights of children are protected, then they can take that child to the hospital for medical examination, and then they report the matter at the police station at the gender desk. And I'm speaking this from experience, because that is a case that we have handled recently, where the father was abusing a child, and the child divulged to the school, and the school called us, and we went, took the child to the hospital. The child was tested, and actually it was confirmed that the child has been abused, and we took the matter we report the matter at the police station, and the perpetrator, as we speak, is cooling his heels at the remand in one of our prisons here in Kiambu County. So therefore, a child, a neighbor, a friend can report a matter on behalf of any child, and they can seek protection. And if there are threats to their safety, let's say if it is a mother who is reporting the matter and it's about her father, you can also raise that issue in court, and you get protection orders and or restraining orders, just to ensure that the safety of the child and the mother is taken into consideration. So if you know of any child who is being violated, and the parent or the guardian or the people in that community are not willing to take action, you can take any action on behalf of the child, and the matter can be reported.
If someone has sex with you while you were drunk and you did not consent, can you report them?
Automatically that is rape, because when you look at the definition of rape, it is the issue of consent is very clear, that when you have sex without the consent of somebody, then that becomes rape. And when you talk about consent, it has to be very clear that it is yes, it is not yes, but it is not no, but yes. It has to be very clear that it is yes. And there's the element of intoxication in that question. This person was drunk, so did they have the capacity to consent? No. It means that their capacity was impaired. It was neither a yes, neither was it a no. So it automatically becomes rape. And that is why you are told that when you're going out to party, please take care of yourself and take care of others around you.
If someone is my spouse or partner, can I be accused of rape?
That's a very interesting question regarding rape within a marriage. Our act, unfortunately, does not explicitly recognize marital rape as a standalone offense. But that is not to mean that a woman who has been abused by the husband cannot get protection. Under our Sexual Offences Act, when you look at Section 26, it talks about deliberate transmission of HIV and other life-threatening sexual infections. If a woman has been infected intentionally by the husband with HIV or with any other life-threatening sexual infection or sexual disease, then they can get using that session. Also, when you look at the Sexual Offences Act definition of the rape, it doesn't say whether it is a married or an unmarried person. So a woman can actually go to the police station and report the husband of having raped because consent was not there when that sexual act was being committed. Unfortunately, in our police stations, sometimes they do not recognize that rape can occur within a marriage, and sometimes they turn away victims of that. But recently we have the protection against domestic violence. That is also another avenue where women in marriage who are being abused by their partners can seek protection. You can get orders seeking protection against violence from their partner. And that refers to both men and women. If a man is being violated by their wife, they can also get protection under that act. So yes, rape can occur within a marriage, but it has not been recognized as marital rape.
As a first responder, what are the immediate steps to take when approached by a victim of sexual abuse?
This is a very good question because it means that you're the first responder. And the first thing that you should ensure is the security and the safety of this girl who has shared. So one of the things that you should do, or anybody who has been abused, is to look at their safety or the safety of this person. Ensure that they are in a safe space, they are in a place where they can talk freely and without fear. So one of the things is to find out where she is, who she is with. Is there somebody that she can trust? Is there somebody that she can talk to? If not, then you can always reach out to them, go to where they are and talk to them first. Look at their mental state. Sometimes we always encourage people, rather than rushing to the hospital, rushing to the police station, take them to a psychologist, take them to a therapist where they are able to talk and to gather their thoughts, even if it's just briefly for 10 or 15 minutes. Then after that, take them to the hospital. If you have found them in that very situation, we do not encourage people to, we prohibit people from taking a shower because that will lead to evidence destruction. If by the time they are going to the hospital, you cannot see if it's a girl who was defiled, there is no semen which can be tested to actually prove that this semen belongs to a particular person. If there may be bruises, there is blood or fluids, then that is destroyed when somebody bathes. So do not take a shower. You or anybody else should not shower when they have been defiled or sexually violated. Report the matter to the nearest police station. This can be done simultaneously depending on the distance. Go to the hospital, have the doctor examine her and have the report ready. Then once that is ready, you can always go to the police station and report so that the perpetrator can be arrested. So those are the main steps that one should take, and to ensure that this person is in a space where they are able to get justice.